What would you do if, at just 9 years old, you had to leave everything, your toys, your school, your family, and walk into the unknown alone? This is the unforgettable journey of Sami, a little boy who crossed continents to find safety and a chance to live. The sound of distant explosions used to echo through the narrow streets of Aleppo like thunder. Sami remembered when those streets were filled with the smell of fresh bread and the laughter of his friends. But the war changed everything. Shops closed, windows shattered, and every night his mother would hold him tight as the ground trembled beneath them. One evening, as smoke filled the evening sky, Sami's parents made the hardest decision of their lives. They couldn't all leave together. Money was scarce, the journey dangerous. But if Sami stayed, he might not survive the next attack. His mother knelt, pressing a small pack into his hands. Inside were a few clothes, a piece of bread, and a tiny photo of the family. Her eyes were wet as she whispered, "Go, find your uncle in Sweden, we will follow when we can." At 9 years old, Sami became a traveler of the world. His first steps were through the ruins of his own neighborhood. He walked for hours with a smuggler's group, the sounds of gunfire fading behind them. The nights were cold and denless. He crossed into Turkey on foot, the border guarded by soldiers whose shouts in the dark still haunted his dreams. He learned to stay quiet, to move fast, to sleep wherever the night allowed. From Turkey, the journey grew even more dangerous. Crammed into the back of a pickup truck with strangers, Sami shared pieces of bread with other children who were just as frightened and alone. Sometimes, he closed his eyes and imagined his mother's voice, telling him bedtime stories as if the world outside wasn't collapsing. In Greece, he saw the sea for the first time, an endless stretch of black water reflecting a sky full of stars. But there was no beauty in this crossing. The rubber boat was small and overcrowded, the waves taller than a house. People prayed aloud as water splashed in. Sami held onto the side with all his strength, clutching the photo of his family inside his jacket. Every minute felt like forever. When they reached the shore, wet and shivering, Sami kept moving. Through Macedonia and Hungary. He rode trains, buses, and sometimes simply walked for miles. Strangers offered him water, a piece of fruit, or a blanket. Others turned their eyes away. But he kept going, because every step meant he was closer to Sweden, closer to hope. Finally, months after leaving Aleppo, Sami stepped onto a train bound for Malm. Snow fell softly outside the window, covering the world in white. It was the first time he had seen snow. And for a brief moment, he smiled. When the train stopped, volunteers greeted him with warm food and kind words in a language he didn't yet understand. But he understood one thing. He was safe. Today, Sami is 14. He lives with his uncle, attends school, and dreams of becoming a doctor.